Hello everyone, welcome to the Watchtower, and today we are going to be doing a spoiler review of Batman, The Long Halloween Part 1. That's coming up next. Hello everyone, like I was saying before, today we are going to be doing a spoiler review of Batman, The Long Halloween Part 1. This is the new animated movie that just came out that is, of course, based on The Long Halloween book by Jeff Loeb and Tim Sale. And this is a great, great book. This is one of my favorite Batman stories. One of the first ones I read. Such a good story. So needless to say, this movie had really big shoes to fill. And in my personal opinion, I think it lived up to him. It was pretty faithful to the book, and it also did some of its own things that I think sets it apart from the book. So we're gonna go ahead and we're gonna dig into that all right now. And like I said, this is a spoiler review. So if you haven't watched this movie yet, go ahead and watch it. All right, so let's just jump into it. Right, first things first, the voice cast. I think the voice cast for this is stellar. First off, Jensen Ackles is playing Batman. A lot of you probably know Jensen Ackles from Supernatural. He was Dean Winchester on that for like 15 years. He's Batman in this. He also, in Under the Red Hood, he voiced the Red Hood. He's Batman in this, and his Batman is completely different from Red Hood. Still sounds a little bit like Jensen Ackles, but completely different from Red Hood. He just has this really good like youthfulness to Batman. Somewhat shows some of his like inexperience and stuff, but also shows that will to want to do good and want to bring justice to Gotham. If there was a weakness to his portrayal, I would say it was probably his Bruce Wayne. I felt wasn't that different from what he was doing as Batman. But Bruce Wayne wasn't in this a lot, so maybe I'm just not being fair. I need to see him more as Bruce Wayne, but I felt like there just wasn't enough of a differential. Also, another cast member in this is Josh Duhamel as Harvey Dent. He is so good in this. He is great as Gotham's White Knight, but who is starting to show a few cracks in his armor. So as the story progresses, and he starts showing just a little bit more of that Two-Face persona starting to creep in and everything. So he does an excellent job on this. Another one who does a really good job is the late Naya Rivera. This is her last role that she did before she sadly passed away. And she crushes into this. She is just the perfect blend of playfulness, but also dangerous as Catwoman. So good in this. I really loved her interactions with Batman. Such a good job. Another big shout out here is Troy Baker as the Joker. When they were doing the Joker in this, I thought, did they get Mark Hamill for this? It sounds so much like Mark Hamill. It's crazy, but no, it's the great Troy Baker who has of course done Joker in Arkham Origins, has done so many voices over the year in video games and TV shows and just animated stuff all over the place. But he does the voice in this as well, and he is awesome as the Joker. So good. Another really great voice member of this is Billy Burke as Commissioner Gordon. Just has this great job as Commissioner Gordon. Brings this right amount of weariness and kind of just like still hopefulness to the role of Jim Gordon and everything. Just really good job. Voice cast throughout is really good. Titus Welliver as Carmine Falcone. Jack Quaid as Alberto Falcone, all really good. The voice cast in this is top notch. Next, I want to look at the animation. And I think the animation in this is absolutely great. Few hiccups, but overall, absolutely great. There's just this noirness and darkness to this animation. And while it doesn't capture Tim Sale's artwork from the book, because that would be impossible to do that, because he draws characters just so like proportionally different. Batman's huge and menacing, and women are very small, and just meek men are very small, and then there's just over the top, just huge characters like Batman and stuff that you just can't capture that in actual like animated movie. You can't. That comic book style art doesn't make the jump over. But this feels like a motion comic. This feels like a comic book come to life. Just the way the animation's done and everything, it feels like a comic book. It's so good. There are a few troublesome areas, though. One big one I noticed was with Selena Kyle. There's a part where they're on like a boat for like New Year's, having like a New Year's party, and she's on the boat. And there are certain scenes where she's just got like two nostrils, like no outline of a nose. It's just two nostrils on her face. So that was very distracting for me. And then there's a few other little hiccups here and there. Sometimes when people are running and stuff, it doesn't look real smooth, real fluid. But the character designs and everything, it looks so good. A good job of like paying homage to Tim Sale's designs of these characters, but also making it a little, freshening it up a little bit and making it a little bit more modern. So really good. Absolutely great with this artwork. And then last I want to talk about the story or the plot. And this is where the spoilers are going to come in, guys, all right? So just warning you here. So the story. This is a pretty faithful addition to the source material, to this book right here. It's a pretty faithful edition of following the story of a killer called the Holiday Killer who commits murder on major holidays. And that's the overall premise of this. And that's what this story follows. And it does a good job of capturing those murders, setting up pretty much the same mystery of who the suspects are and everything. It does a really good job of all of that. Pretty faithful, but there are some changes, both minor and major. But unlike Batman Hush, the animated movie, which I felt it made changes just to be different from the Batman Hush, the book, and didn't really help the movie at all, this made changes that I felt helped the movie differentiate itself from the book and also make more sense within the tapestry and the framework that they're trying to weave. One example is Alberto Falcone. They really changed Alberto Falcone's motivations and everything. In the book, Alberto Falcone does what he does because his father doesn't want him to be any part of the business because he wants something better for him. He very much wants something better for him. So in the book, Alberto Falcone does what he does to show attention, to show his dad, hey, I'm this person, I can do this, I can be in the mob, I can do this stuff, I want to do this. In the movie, they show that the relationship between Alberto Falcone and his dad is much different. His father thinks Alberto is weak, thinks he's soft, the reason that he doesn't include him in stuff is because he doesn't think he can handle it. He's not any good. He's too much of a free thinker. He doesn't have what the family wants best. So it changes that dynamic. It makes it more antagonistic. And in doing so, Alberto doesn't really want anything to do with the family business. He's not trying to impress his father. He doesn't care what his father thinks. He wants to get far away from Gotham. He wants to get out of the business. He resentful his father because there was a girl that he loved and his father drove her away. And he let him do that because he was weak. So he wants to get out of Gotham. He wants to get away from Gotham. So it changes his motivation. And in doing so, there's a really big twist in this. If you've read the book, you're thinking, oh, we know who the killer is. But this is a very big twist in this that really changes, at the end of this first part, who the killer is. So I thought it was really well done with Alberto and everything. Another big change in this is Gilda Dent. In the book, I would say that Gilda Dent is pretty much a forgettable character. She's very clingy, she's very needy, but you really don't know why. She always wants Harvey to be home with her and take care of her and be there and not be going out and everything. And you really don't know why. This shows her as a much more damaged individual. She is very much wants Harvey to be at home with her and everything. There's a lot more reason for that. You find out that she really can't have kids, whether there's been some miscarriages with her, but she really can't have kids. She was a lawyer herself, but she dropped out, and now she has very big self-esteem issues and everything. She feels like she's worthless. She's not good at anything. She's nobody. So it really changes that character and makes her more sympathetic, where in the book, I felt like she was just kind of, she was forgettable in the book, but this really does a good job of updating her and making her more of a fully fleshed out person. So really good job. I thought the changes were really good. And then there were some minor changes too. Catwoman's more involved in this story so far than she was in the book. There's more stuff that she shows up at that she wasn't in the book, which it doesn't hurt the movie. Because some of the stuff, there's stuff in the book that she's like referenced as like being like as like helping them out with or whatever, or giving them information. But in this, they just have her actually be there and not just tell you like in the book that such and such happened. They actually show some of that. So I thought it was a really good job. I thought the changes worked for this story. I thought it helped set it apart from the book, but also didn't bastardize what the book already was and just, we're just going to do our own thing. We don't care about the book. It was a very good interpretation of the first part of this book, the part one of this movie was. There's also this story. This is a very adult and dark story. Not as in like not as in like sex or violence or drugs or alcohol or language or anything like that, but like the tone and the mood. There is just a very strong noir feel to this. There's a heaviness and a darkness that seeps through this entire movie. It feels like an adult movie. It's so well done. It's just, I mean, from the opening credits, the music playing, it just, like, with the opening credits, I was like, okay, I could feel it. This is going to be different. This is not going to be a light, breezy story, like some of the other stuff we've gotten recently. It's not going to be fun. It's not going to be big action beats. This is a dirty, gritty, on the street look at crime and corruption and murder and three men who have put together a bond to clean up a city that is dirty, and just like what that takes for three men to just clean up a city like Gotham that's been corrupt and terrible for a really, really long time, and what that's going to take. So just such a heaviness to the story, but I loved it. It was so good. I mean, the book is heavy. This movie felt heavier just with the music and everything, which you can't really get in a book. You can't get music. But this, just with the music and everything they were using, oh, it was so, so good. Absolutely outstanding. So, I think, guys, this movie is outstanding. Such a good job. I would highly recommend that you guys pick this up and watch it. This is part one, so part two is coming out, I believe, the end of July, early August. Definitely picking that up. Definitely looking forward to that. So great story. Absolutely worth it, guys. Pick this up. So good. I highly recommend it. One little bonus thing that I want to talk about real quick, because in this, there is a DC Showcase, which is a short film. I think it's like 20 minutes long, focusing and these have these in like most of these movies where they focus on some more minor obscure characters, and this one focuses on the Losers, which is a World War II group of commandos that goes on missions that that they're going to lose. They're the Losers. They're basically the Suicide Squad before the Suicide Squad. So they're high risk missions, and it follows them in this story in World War II on an island that's infested with dinosaurs. Such a great short story as well. Highly recommend this. I'm a big fan of the Losers and a little bit of stuff I've read of them. This was a good showcase from them as well. I'm really happy that it did this. It showed the Losers in this. I really like these shorts that are showing, different characters and stuff, lesser known characters that won't get a full movie and don't get a lot of spotlight, but they're showing them in this. So, that's the review of this, guys. Like I said, it's awesome. Definitely worth a pickup. Go to it, guys. Get this, watch it, and get ready for part 2 coming later this year. Thank you all so much for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and I will see you the next time that I log in for Monitor Duty up here in the Watchtower.